99X. It is the Morning X. Barnes and Leslie. Fram, you ready to get your history on?
Yeah, I want to hear all about Picasso's house, but I guess more interestingly enough, it's like, who have you become, Steve Barnes?
It's not Picasso's house. It's his muse / side project. We'll get into it.
Yes.
So I've been living in this village called Ménerbes, and it is in Provence. And right down the street is this house. It's called the Dora Maar House. And Dora Maar was a photographer and then a painter, begrudgingly. We'll see if I'm saying that correctly. But she was intertwined with Picasso. And Picasso used to stay in this house. And she has the house because of Picasso. So, long story short, my new BFF is Flavi, who is the house manager. I'd like to introduce you to her. Hello, Flavi. Thank you for coming.
Bonjour Steve, merci beaucoup de m'accueillir ici.
Oh, hold up. Can we maybe do this one in English?
Oui, bien sûr.
Okay, good.
Hi, Flavi.
Hi.
What did you just say, by the way?
I said just thank you so much for having me here.
It's so nice to have you on the Morning X, and I don't know who this guy is I'm doing the show with. It's like what's happened to Barnes?
Well, this is an interesting thing. Flavi, you're an art student from
Paris,
who got this internship to basically run this house. And I went and took a tour the other day and found out all this great information. But if we had to sum it up, Dora Maar was this depressed woman who Picasso met like in Paris in the 30s, 40s?
Yes, he met her in 1933 in the famous café Les Deux Magots in Paris.
And what she was doing, Fram, she was sitting at a table with her fingers spread out and she had a knife and she was, you know how you poke between each finger as you go through, like picture that like from a movie or something. And Picasso,
that's what she was doing.
She was doing that, and Picasso was attracted to that freak show he is. And that's where it all began, right?
Now, was she like his muse? Because I know they were together for many years.
Well, she was his muse. Well, she's most famously known as her muse, but she was an artist herself, even before meeting with Picasso. She was a photographer and a painter as well.
What's weird to think that Picasso just died in 73.
That kind of freaks me out, yeah.
When I hear Picasso, I think, oh, that must have been like way, way back, but it wasn't so far back. And she just died in 90-something?
1997. She was 90 years old.
And she was still living here in this house, which is just so wild to me. But I didn't know that Picasso was such a jerk.
Well, I know that I had read, because I did my homework, that wasn't his wife pregnant while he was with Dora Maar?
Yes, she was.
Ooh.
Picasso met Dora Maar in 1933 and they started that relationship. And then 2 years later, he's going to have his first child with Marie-Thérèse Walter.
Wow, he was all over the place, Fram. So this guy.
He was all over the place. And so then what happened when they broke up, so to speak? She went into depression, correct?
Well, she got into very deep depression after Picasso abandoned her in 1943. So she went to a psychiatric hospital and she did get some electroshocks.
Oh, like those things you put on your head, looks like a little headset.
Exactly.
But like when you think about those times, Leslie, I mean, this guy had his wife carrying a child, and then he had his, booty call essentially here. And Google the house. It's called Dora Maar, Dora, and then Maar. He's associated with it because when he broke up with her, he gave her a painting, right? To use the money to buy that house?
Yeah, Dora Maar sold the painting, and with the money she was able to buy the house.
Oh yeah, where is that painting now?
It's a mystery. We don't know.
How is it just gone?
Where is it? It's in someone's attic somewhere, right? It's going to be discovered in 20 years from now.
You figure someone would come forward.
So Flavi, outside of that, were there any other Picasso paintings or sketchings that were left in the home?
Yes, they were. When the house was bought by this American woman in 1997, there were so many sketches of Picasso on the floor because when he used to come visit Dora Maar, he would sketch a lot and just leave all the sketches on the floor. And we also know that when he visited Dora Maar's in the 50s, he painted on a removable toilet seat. And he left somewhere this toilet, and it's hidden now somewhere in the house. So it's very exciting to know this.
Well, tell everyone, and I'll bleep you, tell the quote that after he painted on this toilet seat, what he said.
Well, after he painted the toilet seat, he said to Dora Maar, well, now you can on the most expensive toilet. That is in the word.
But that's a great sum of his arrogance, really, right there.
Really see the character of Picasso.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like some of my folk art that I own.
Yeah, that's why I figured you'd be so into this. So we're talking to Flavi. She's the house manager of the Dora Maar House here in Ménerbes, France. She's over here at my villa right now, right in front of me. She's not on any kind of connection. And they have this woman who bought it from Houston, just passed, sadly, last year. And they have a foundation she's going to tell us about. Perk your ears up if you have either a child or a relative or someone that's into the arts, because they have a thing where you can come and live in this house.
Really?
And get just, inspired?
It's a great program. So every year from March to November, we invite artists to apply to the residency, and they can come here and spend 1 month in the house and just to concentrate on their work.
But the rules are what I find interesting. You can't be a beginner, but you can't be a Picasso, no pun intended. You have to kind of be middle of the road, right?
Yes, right. So it's better if you already did some work before coming to the house.
Wow.
How many submissions do you get every year? I have to imagine that would be really popular.
We have about 300 people trying to apply to the house, and we only get maybe 25 each year.
And so they come and just live in these rooms. Leslie, this house is so big. And again, if you're listening later, Google it. It's this huge house. She only lived in how many rooms?
In just 3 rooms, the kitchen, the studio, and her bedroom.
She's that depressed.
So is the house in great shape?
Well, now it is, yes, because Nancy Negley, the American woman, did all the renovations. But when Dora Maar lived there, it was really, really a mess.
Tell the story about, there was a person who lived up above, Leslie, the house, that I guess is older now, and he used to talk about seeing Picasso.
Yes. Well, he came to see me, and he lived in the hotel that just above the garden. And when he was a child, he used to look outside of the window, and he told me that he used to see Picasso and Dora Maar in the garden, and Picasso would ask some models to come inside the garden to just paint them.
Like naked, or just paint them like...
He didn't tell me.
Because with Picasso, he's such a playboy that you figure he's like, tell me, come up to the villa, I will paint you. Or however you say that.
Does he have any children that are alive that are around?
Dora Maar's children, you mean?
No, Picasso.
Picasso?
He has 1 daughter, yes.
Oh, that's still alive?
She is.
Wow, it's just fascinating, all the history
it's so
is
fascinating.
over here. Tell people how they can apply, and we'll also make sure, we'll put this obviously out on the podcast so people can try and apply to be one of these lucky people who get to live in, by the way, one of the most beautiful villages in southern France. How do you do it?
Well, it's all on the website of the house, the Dora Maar House, and you just create your portfolio with all the things you've created over the years. You send it to the application email, and you also need to attach a recommendation letter. It's very important as well.
So Leslie, should we apply? Maybe we could just do our show from there, because we're middle.
I was going to say,
we suck. We have no ratings. Maybe we can just aspire to live in this house.
I was going to ask Flavi, who are her favorite artists?
Oh, good question.
Musicians, bands.
Yeah, what bands do you like?
I really love Muse.
Oh, yeah, good choice.
And
what
Harry
about artists?
Styles.
And Harry Styles?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
I just went to his concert in Paris, that's why.
And what about artists?
Well, I especially love all the Impressionist artists, Monet, Cézanne, Van Gogh, because they've been so inspired here by the Luberon and the Provence in general.
I would never in a million years think I'd be having this conversation in my life.
I mean, who are you?
Yeah, I know.
But I'm very excited that you did. But I love Flavi's voice. I could listen to her all day.
Flavi, thank you for coming over. I know you have to get back to work and go manage the house.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you're interested in the foundation, just go on the website and...
Give out the website. What is it?
It's just the Dora Maar House.
TheDoraMaarHouse.com?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Flavi.
Thank you.
The Morning X with Barnes and Leslie.
99X.